right, so I've been hard at it. I've had some people show up and stuff like that. Uncle came by, my cousins came by. And it was a good old time, but I didn't record a bunch of stuff. But I kept moving on forward, and so let's just get up to date with where we are, where we got to. Check it out, the bumper, everything is on. I'm gonna flip this camera around and give you guys what I did. Like you saw in previous shots, only this one here, it doesn't have the hood on it right now. But you can see the cool fender mounts and stuff like that, so it works out, right? Anyway, check it out. The bumper's on, everything, the lights, the grill, the whole works. So as we look down here, that bumper, that bar right there turned out pretty good. It lined up well, and that was totally by chance, total fluke. I'm gonna make some sort of splitter, some sort of valence, whatever you call it, down at the bottom, skirt, body kit, big bumper, whatever. And so that's the excuse for what's going on underneath there. We'll get to that much later though. So let's check out the fitment. So on the side here, kind of matches up good with that body line, not bad, right? Now I did a thing where I cut out, the body used to kind of go in here a bit, and the idea was the bumper sat around that, but I pushed these way out with this bracket that I made here. So the bottom of the fender is way out, and the idea behind that is once I get this whole valence body kit going on and stuff, I'm gonna try to kind of wide body it and flare it out a little bit. So it's all part of pieces of the puzzle, and I don't like the look of a big chrome bumper, so instead of like chopping this one like the hot rod guys do and tucking it in, bringing it in real close, I brought the fenders out. So here, this fitment on this side is not as good as the other side. It's pretty good though. Around the lights and stuff, it's all nice and snug. Both sides like that. Boom, shakalaka. So let's take a look at the bracket on the inside. You know, it's up on a major angle like that. Number one, because the bumper sits pretty high. And number two is actually like some sort of crumple zone idea. That way the bumper will hit and go up as opposed to going down and pushing the car down. I'm thinking, I don't know. It fit and it seemed like a good idea, and sometimes the things that it looks like I didn't think about, I thought about, but sometimes I didn't think about it, but it worked out that I thought about it. It looks like. Just take another look at all the other things. Hood pins, kind of looks funny, but everything fits together, locks in really nice and tight. So it's really solid. It's not going to shake around. It's going to do the job. It's going to stay tough and up to the task. Of course, I could do it with a bunch of cleaning up in here, but right now we're at the mock-up stage. There I had a gap. I had to cover up with a piece of metal. Yeah, right now we're really at the mock-up stage, so it's kind of rough looking, but everything's fitting together really well. Everything's lining up. That little frame modification I had to do earlier worked out good. Everything's straight. I'm pretty stoked. Now that the front's pretty much done, taken care of, all the bodywork part of it anyways, there's going to be a mechanical phase coming later on where I put the motor, transmission in, get the clutch working, throttle cable, all that kind of stuff. Line up the coolant, the hoses, all that fun stuff. That'll come later, but for now, I'm just doing like setting up the bodywork, making sure everything fits together, all the parts that need to be there are going to be there, and then I can work everything else around it. So the very next step is the interior. Now I went ahead and I pulled out the dash. It's sitting over there, and then that's the inner dash and the steering column. My cousin was here, so he helped me with that. Thanks, Nathan, if you're watching. Appreciate it. So now I'm going to get to work on cleaning the inside here. I'm not cleaning, working on it. So I got to go check over all these panels, make sure nothing broke, none of the welds broke or anything. Everything's pretty good. They're pretty weak, a lot of them, so they have to be touched up, and everything else back. I got to finish welding in the cage, all the little pieces of it. I got to weld I'm going to put a little brace back in here because these don't actually touch each other. So just to make it stiffen up. Triangles make everything strong. I don't want to put another X there unless I have to. I don't think I have to, but I'd like to leave it like that. Might put one up in the ceiling. But then, yeah, like I said, I got to weld up all those pipes over there too. Check the gaps, the floors, everything's good. I got to take this panel off. Fortunately, it's just bolts. I'm going to rivet on it eventually if I get that. And check all these panels, make sure everything is all good and sealed. That's a terrible mount, and so is that. So I'm going to redo these. I'm going to try to mount up the dash really well. Make sure the steering column mounts are good, the pedals and everything. Figure out the pedals, and how that's going to fit. The bottom dash, the upper dash, and then I guess the mechanical part of that when we get there would be like the gauge faces and computer mounting location. Got to do the seat belts. I'm gonna have to move these tabs too. I'm gonna put these in for the seat belt. I'm gonna have to move them, make them a bit tougher. They're little bit in the wrong location. The passenger side is good, but the driver side is not good. So looking at my list real quick, that pretty much covers everything for the interior. Now, the reason I'm doing the interior right away is so that I don't like the idea of crawling around inside there, being all tight and shitty. So I'm gonna get that done first before moving on to the back of the back half here, because this part's gonna be a lot of fun, I'm sure. So let's take care of the dirty work first and go from there. So I'm gonna once again just dive into it, and I'll update you guys in a little bit when I get some stuff done. So let's do it.